Hey everybody, welcome back to the Armed Scotsman. Today on the table we have the Canik Meta Prime. Let's get this one going. Alright everybody, as I said, this is the Canik Meta Prime. I'm down here at Ready Gunner to do some shooting today, so thank you for them again for hosting me. Much appreciated. We'll change the camera angle around, we'll go over its features, and we'll do some shooting. Alright, let's go ahead and take a nice close look at this. We'll start at the bottom, make our way up. So eject the mag to start right off. It does come with a one or two 17 round mags, can't remember how many, but they are metal mags. And you can see there they are 17 rounds. Has kind of a larger base plate on here once it goes in there, so it will sit just below that flared mag well. So obviously this is your flared mag well. It can be taken off if you wish. We get some nice light on there. It's nice and flush in there. It does make inserting these mags a little easier, which is nice. Moving up, obviously you've got the grip here. We've got some really nice texturing, very reminiscent of the TTI Combat texturing, so it's very nice. You do have an adjustable backstrap here. There's 3 different ones, so you can take these off and replace them to get whatever fits your hand better. I'm not sure what size is on here, but it does feel pretty good in the hand to me, and that texturing is super nice, and it's all the way around. I do like that texturing. You got the Canik branding on either side. Moving up, you'll notice here, obviously we've got our mag release. Let me get a little closer. There's some serrations on there. It is reversible. You can put it on the other side if you wish. You have kind of a double undercut right here. It goes pretty far up, so you can get a really good purchase on the gun. So that is very nice. Obviously your trigger guard's got a little bit of texturing on the front right there. Then you have the combat trigger. We'll come back to that in just a second. So moving on up again, you got the beaver tail. And with that double undercut right there, again, you can get a really nice purchase on the gun. And again, that's the texturing just makes it feel so good in hand. It's a very nice job. Slide lock, slide release, take down levers, and then you have a 1913 pick rail on the front to add lights, lasers, whatever you kind of need. You got some really nice serrations, very positive, very nice to grip, very nicely done. You have obviously your Canik Meta Prime engraved in your slide right here. Moving up to the top, let's go to the sights. You have 3-dot sights. Let me get that to front. So you get high front vis sight, and then you've got some night sights at the back here. So they are night sights. They have little ridges on them for anti-glare, if you can see them right there. You do have a cocked indicator. This does not tell you if it's loaded, but obviously if you pull the trigger, that disappears. You're cocked. Disappears. Very nice. Moving up to the top, you obviously have the optics cut right here. This is the RMSC footprint for your optic right there. Now, a thing I did notice is it's pretty low and deep, which is really nice. So if you put in your optic, it should sit low enough, depending on what it is, to co-witness without having to change out your iron sights. So that would be a nice feature also. Moving along just a little bit further, this is your loaded round indicator right here. And obviously I don't have any rounds in here. So once you rack this, and if there's a round in there, this will just sit up, protrude a little bit, so you can just feel it and you'll know there is a round in there. And then obviously you've got your cocking indicator back here, so you'll know either way. And then moving to the front right here, you got this nice little cutout with the Prime engraved on the barrel. There is your high vis front sight right there. And then coming to what makes this pistol unique is your 3 ports on the front, and then you've got obviously the cutouts in the slide for the gases to escape. So obviously we're going to talk about if this actually helps reduce that muzzle flip or not. All right, let's take a close look at the trigger. So this has been lifted from the Canik Rival. You'll notice it has a very large shoe face right here. This is actually your safety. So if you pull on either side of that large paddle, this gun is not going to fire. And you can see right here, this is how the actual safety works. So if you pull that back, that knob's going to hit off the frame, and that's essentially your safety. If you do press that, you'll notice it goes inside, and it allows you to pull the trigger. So let's have a look at it. You got a little bit of take up. I'm at the wall. Wow, that's a pretty decent little break right there. No over travel whatsoever. A little bit of let out. That is an extremely short reset. You cannot fault Caniks with their triggers, man. They have, in my opinion, some of the best, if not best, striker fire triggers on the market. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the pull weight is. So this is about a 5-pound trigger pull, which actually coincides with what they actually state the trigger pull is, which is nice. Let's do it one more time. 5-pound trigger pull. It feels lighter than a 5-pound trigger pull to me. Nice trigger. All right, let's go ahead and take this gun down. Same way kind of as a Glock, right? You're going to pull back on the slide a little bit till that notch meets the little pull down tab. Pull them down, push it forward, and take your slide off. So this looks like every other striker fire lower on the market. That is it there. Let's go to your slide. Let's check out. You have a captured guide rod and spring right there. Now this has been shocked a fair amount already, so it is a little dirty. And then this is your 3.6-inch cold hammer forged barrel. It's a 1 in 10 twist. There is your 3 ports right there. It is a fluted barrel, as you can see, and it has that little prime on there. So fluted barrel, 3 ports, prime. Very nice. And then this is the inside of the slide. All right, and just go in reverse, put that back together. All right, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a size comparison here. So this is obviously the Canik Meta Prime. This is the SIG P365 comp version, both 17 rounds. Pretty much the same size lengthwise like that. Let's see if we can match these up a little closer. These SIG might be a smidgen height-wise shorter, and they're both slimline, both 17 rounds. This is the Springfield Hellcat Pro, and the Pro is just a little bit shorter. Always, and it's obviously shorter. And it is a little bit shorter. But the Pro, the Hellcat Pro is a little bit shorter than the Prime. All right, let's talk about shooting the gun. Now, I've gone through about my usual 300 rounds today. Had a ton of fun with it, 0 problems. I wasn't expecting any, but I had no problems whatsoever. Overall thoughts on the gun: feels excellent in hand. Super nice trigger. I say these Caniks with these striker fire triggers are freaking awesome. There's a ton of features on this gun. You've got your nice optics cut, you've got your loaded round indicator, you've got your cocked indicator, you've got some nice sights on there, you have the 3-port comp on there. Now, the big question is, did I feel a big difference with that? It was definitely pretty soft shooting, and considering it's a slimline gun, kind of a smaller gun, definitely came back and I got it on target pretty quick. I heard a lot of people review saying it's super loud and you can really hear it indoors. I didn't notice that, but I'm indoors with my earmuffs on, so I don't know. I didn't really notice that much of a difference. But the port comps seems to work. I did run the Springfield Hellcat Pro comp as well, just to kind of remind me. And I think this was a little softer shooting, and it felt a little nicer shooting. And I really like this Hellcat Comp Pro. I thought it was a nice gun. So super feature rich gun. I mean, it's ready right out of the box. You really don't need to do anything. And as I say, it was probably the best striker fire triggers in the market. So a lot to love on this gun. Again, just an initial review. This is not obviously a long-term review, but so far so good. Any questions, folks? Any comments? Please ask below. Happy to help out wherever I can. And that's it. Until next time, I'll catch you later.